All right, to my guest, thank you so much for being on the show. Y'all, we literally been like kikiing like for what? Almost like 20 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, right, y'all. I love this man. I feel like when we
No.
first met, no, please, like we first met at a St. Jude event. And you know the joke I said about St. Jude, because I met so many great people there. And
Yeah.
I was like, damn, St. Jude like herpes. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. I'm joking, St. Jude, but I have met some really amazing people at St. Jude.
uh,
But we met. I met his lovely wife, who is also. I mean, everyone's obsessed with you and your wife.
no.
But I don't know how me and you got into the corner, and we just started talking about everything.
Yeah. It was meant to be. That's all we got there. It was destiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we was talking about love. He was giving me advice. We was talking about you talking about your personal growth, and
Yeah.
then we talked on the subject of fatherhood. And I shared my experience
Mm,
with me and my father for the
mm,
first time a couple of years ago. So when you told me your story, I was like, oh my god, I gotta have him on the show
yeah.
some way
Then,
somehow.
then we had our New York connection.
Yeah, it was our New York
That
connection.
yeah. Once I saw that
Yeah.
too, I was like, all right, it's a wrap.
Right. So I was gonna say, because before the show started, y'all, he asked me, he was like, so is this PG? And the question I had was like, love, so listen, are we gonna talk like how we talk, or you want to be politically correct? Because he is a well-known figure, y'all.
Thank you. Actually, I can't be politically correct. I would have just been like, I can't do the interview. Sorry, love
Right,
you,
right.
but can't do it.
Like y'all, the way we be talking, y'all would have thought it was two grown-ass men
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. It's real. I love it. Love it.
Right. So once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your
Thanks for
story.
having me on. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm
Of
excited to
course.
share my story.
Yes, yes. Now, before we get into your story, what did fatherhood mean to you before you experienced what you did?
Good question. Oh, all right. What did it mean to me? That was a really good question. You know, growing up in Brooklyn, like we
Mm,
discussed, my father wasn't around. And I was raised by a single mother who raised five kids, actually six.
mm,
And throughout that time, my other siblings, they had fathers, but I didn't because I have my half brother, half sisters. I'm still family.
right,
So as a kid, it always bothered me. It was like, what's wrong with me?
right.
Why don't I have a father? So once I hit the streets, that was even hard because there was no male guidance for me. So I had to
Mm-hmm,
learn everything on my own. Um, Problems in life that I encountered, crisis, I had to deal with it on my own.
mm-hmm.
So I had to become my own man. And as a kid, I was really good at sports. And I was the kid that would go to the little league game or the basketball games that's playing, and all the other fathers would be looking at me like, damn, I wish this was my kid.
I know.
Man, I wish this was my kid.
You know,
Man, this
niggas
kid,
be tight when they son suck at
yeah,
basketball.
exactly. I'm looking at them like, damn, I wish I was my dad. Wish this was
Right.
my dad. So it was really hard growing up without a father. So for me, I always knew that I was going to become a father. And when I would become a father, there was no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I was going to be a great father, a great
Right.
dad. I was going to love the fuck out of my kids.
Right.
And so so it was something really special to me
Mm-hmm.
to, to become a father.
Right. That's one of my questions. How do you think a man's relationship with his own father or lack of a father figure affects his approach to fatherhood? Because it can go both ways.
It could go both ways. It could go both
Yeah.
ways. You could kind of mimic your father. Let's say he wasn't a positive role model or he wasn't around. You could either become like him
Mm-hmm.
or become the opposite
Yeah.
of him. And for me, I chose to become the opposite. And even though there were things about me that I had some of my father's traits, especially according to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so real talk here, she would only say pretty much negative things about him.
Right.
I never met him. And she said, but the only thing I will say good about him is he had a big dick and he eat pussy really good. And I was like, what? What?
Right, right.
I'll take that one. I'll take it. I'll take the
Right.
L. I'll take that one. I got like that. All
Like,
right,
thanks,
but
Pops.
yeah, thanks, Pops. But there's nothing else. All right, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Right.
That's real. She said that, and it was always, it was, it was That's my mom's. I love her. She's real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, your mom's from New York too, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I know she's thorough with it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She kept it real with me. You know, and to this day, I bring it up, and she still tells me like, "Hey, it was the truth. He wasn't
Yeah.
shit, but he had that going on." And it was
Right,
like,
right, right.
"Yeah, I'm good. I'm grateful. I'm grateful."
Go ahead,
Oh
I'm
no, so I
sorry.
was just saying that I chose to go the opposite route and to be there, to show up, to be a present father. And that inspired me. Um, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but and if I do, just slow me down. So I had never met my father because he left when I was really little. And one day I was like 16 and I was with my mother in downtown Brooklyn. She was in the store shopping and I was in the store with her. And I was like, I'm going to go outside and wait for you. So I went outside, crowded street.
Right.
I'm just out there and this man passes by me. And my spirit was like, wait a minute. And I ran in the store. And I was like, Mom, come here, outside. She's like, I'm in line. I'm like, yo, come here.
Right.
Pulled outside. She's like, yeah, what you doing? So I took her outside. So I was like, what? She goes, I go, is that my father? And she was like, what are you talking? Oh my God, it's your dad.
How did you know? I mean, I know you said your spirit told you, but like, what did that feel like?
That was it. It was a knowing. It was like a connection. And this was crowded downtown Brooklyn. So,
right. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. My mother was blown away. So she called him over and he came over and he was like, oh my God, that's my Anthony. But he was trying to talk to me, connect with me, but I wasn't having it because I was already mad. Because all of those years of him not being there and all those years of my mother telling me things about him, negative things, I was pissed. I was being a dick to him.
Right.
And so then he came to visit me and it was still, I was just smart comments, every little thing he said.
Right.
And so he just stopped showing up again. And that was it. And so fast forward, years later, I'm in my 40s. I'm a man. I've been through life. And I get a call one day. Hey, this is your dad, Johnny. I'm like, what? It's like, I'm so sorry, son. I wasn't there. I was in prison and this and that. And I had this going on, that going on. And I was like, yo, stop.
Right.
Stop. And he was like, what? What do you mean? I was like, check this out. You're a man. You're a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass man. I never walked in your shoes. I don't know what you've been through. So who am I to judge you? It's like I don't want anybody judging me. We can't do anything about the past. The past is the past. But what we can do is start from today. So let's start where we're at now. Let's just be grateful we've connected and take it from there.
Right.
And he just broke down crying. And he was like, oh my God, son, I'm so grateful that you're open to me. And so I'm excited because I'm like, okay, I became the man I am pretty much on my own.
Right.
Thank you, Mom, for your contributions, but it was, putting that G work.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, okay, my dad's finally here. If I'm like this, he's going to be like, whoa. And for the next couple of weeks, we were on the phone every day. And I was looking for these nuggets, this knowledge and this thing that I was missing.
Right.
And it never came. It was like, in order to communicate with him, and he was a brilliant man in his own way, but it was like I had to come down and kind of get on my knees to talk to him on a level that he can understand. And so it was like I was a father and he was a son. And one day he said to me,
that's deep.
Yeah. And one day he said to me, you know what, son? I'm so sorry that I wasn't there for you. And I told him, you know what? It's okay. Actually, I think it was a good thing that you wasn't there. He's like, what do you mean? And I said, because by you not being a father to me, by showing up and being there for me, I grew up realizing the importance of being a great dad. And that inspired me to be a great dad. And now I'm an amazing dad because of that experience. So I wouldn't change a thing. I'm grateful. And he started breaking down and crying. And he was like, you know what? You're right. Because if you would have been around me, I would have fucked up your life. He goes, you have another brother. And I fucked up his life. I brought him into my drug business and he killed somebody for me. He's doing time. And if I pulled you in, I would have done the same thing with you.
Wow.
So you're right. So
That's so funny you said that because my aunt, because I remember I shared with you, like I never met my
Yeah.
father before.
Hmm.
And my father, he's a crackhead. My mom is an alcoholic. And
Hmm.
I was talking to my aunt and she was getting emotional because she was like, yo, you really made it. Because
Yeah.
she was like, people always say they wish they had their parents. She was like, and you didn't have your parents and look how you turned out. So
Yes.
the
Yeah.
fact that he said that like that shit can really happen.
Yeah. 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 I have no doubt. I have a saying EIP, and we teach all of our clients this. EIP, everything is perfect. There
Yeah.
are no accidents. There are no mistakes. Everything that's unfolding is unfolding for my greater good. The universe plays chess, not checkers. So
Facts.
when something unfolds, you think it's negative. Nah, it's actually looking out for you. Down the line, you look back and be like, oh shit, I'm grateful it worked out like that. So for me
Yeah.
now, as a man, no matter what unfolds, even if it's something I'm not crazy about, I have gratitude and appreciation for it because I have faith that it's for a purpose, a greater purpose that's going to serve.
Right.
And so I don't trip on it. It's like, okay, accept it, keep it pushing. So, like I said, I'm talking. I had to come down to talk to him. I'm just teaching him. He's
Right.
like, he's soaking it up. But the other part of the story was that while he was in prison and his drug business, he started doing heroin,
Mm.
and he caught AIDS from
Mm.
the heroin addiction.
Right.
So he had full blown AIDS when we were communicating, talking, and he told me.
Mm.
But he was like, but I'm doing medication, I'm doing better, I'm staying clean. So he died probably a couple of weeks later. So I think I had a total of maybe a month with him
Wait,
before he
did y'all
passed.
ever meet?
No, I was planning a trip to because I was in California and I was planning a trip to New York and he was excited
Wow,
and
I didn't know
everything.
that.
Yeah. And then I was calling him, he wasn't answering like for a couple of weeks. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, we at? And I reached out to some other relatives on his side, and supposedly he I have another one of my sisters that grew up with him. She was a crackhead, and she had beat one of the dealers for drugs and said my father would pay for it and put him on a spot. And he
Mm.
wasn't paying for it, and they beat him to death. And that's how he died. And so,
Wait, who
yeah, that
beat him to
was
death?
the drug dealers. Yeah, in
Wow.
Bushwick.
Damn. How does that make you
Yeah.
feel knowing that story?
Ugh.
Yeah,
You
right?
you know what? It was mixed emotions. One, I felt like, damn, I was looking forward to connecting with him in
Yeah.
physical form. But then I got to go back to EIP, and there was a reason for that. Um, a part of me, if it would have been other people, I'm not going to front. I'd feel like, when that revenge hit me, like, I gotta go. But
Right.
it was like, that one, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna chill on that one. That one, it is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So that part, it was sad. A good thing that came from it is that I got to reconnect with that side of the family.
Right.
And I love that side of the family. I'm connected with my uncles. Um, and so it's been a blessing. And it was great even connecting with my uncles because it was like the first time I'm seeing men from my DNA, from my genetic.
Yeah.
And they were all, they look exactly like me. Everybody's like 6'5" and big guys. And it was like they'll
Yeah.
talk the same. And it was like, oh, this is
You
good.
felt
So
at home.
I
Yeah.
felt at home. Yeah. So I still have those connections. I have those connections, and I contact them all the time. We talk all the time. So that part's been beautiful. So
Did you go to the funeral?
no, 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 I didn't go.
Mm.
Um, I actually found out about it after that,
Oh,
which was
wow.
sad too. It's like, damn, I
Yeah.
ain't even, So there was something that was just we weren't supposed to, I'm saying, be in the same solar systems together or something. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to work out.
You know what's so crazy? I think about that too, because like my father, he'll call me every now and then. Because the first time he called me, I was when I was like in my mid-20s. I was like angry with him because I'm like, nigga, don't try to be my dad now, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But then after, when you get older and you go
Hmm.
through your own life experiences, it's just
Hmm.
like, nigga, we here now. Like it is,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I also, just with those who deal with drugs and everything else that's against us
Yeah.
within the society. It actually made me like kind of feel bad for him because like your father, like he was super smart. Like he went from ninth grade to college, like the top of his class, very good looking man. You know, he just couldn't get that monkey off his back.
Yeah.
And so, you know, now every now and then he'll check in, and I just like, you know, let me just have a conversation with him because I'm like, I couldn't imagine what that feel like as a man to have a child, knowing you play no role in that child's life, especially a woman, and she's doing pretty good for herself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
You know, when I agree with you, I used to be real hard on that, people like that, because I was angry.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of destruction in my life. But I realized that everybody's doing the best they can with what they have to work with.
Facts.
And it's easy for me to judge on the outside, and the bottom line is, you know, I can still have a relationship with you, and you can still be a fuck up or do what things you need to do. Just keep that away from me.
Right.
But when you're with me, let's be a certain way. When you go on, do what you want. I'm good.
Right.
And so, and life is short. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. And I was just, once again, like that was the difference between when he met me at 16 and when he met me at like 45, 46.
Right.
I went through life. I experienced life.
Yeah.
All of that, you know, being idealistic about, no, it's supposed to be like this. Not supposed to be. Life was like, the fuck up.
Right,
you know,
right.
Yo, really, nigga? Okay, let's find out.
Let me show you how life really give it up.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I'm humble.
Right.
I get it.
That's
no
why
life,
I be like,
no life.
I feel like, what do I know? Like, yo, we here now. Like, it is what it is. Like, just don't bring that energy over here. If you're gonna come over here, just have good intentions.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I always look at it like I have this video game analogy. I look at it like life is one big video arcade, and every experience you can have in life or way you can be in life is a game in this arcade. And everybody came to this arcade to play a different game.
Yeah.
And so when I'm playing my game, you're playing yours over there. So the tendency is while we're playing ours,
right,
to look over at the next person and be like, yo, why are you playing that game? I would never choose that game. Oh,
right.
That game offends me. Why you chose that character? Oh, wow. Oh, this motherfucker chose that character. Why are you taking that? Oh, why? Then you go get other people like, come here, look, do we agree? Look, I don't like the way you playing your game. It offends us and this and that. And it's like, excuse me, this is my token. I get one token. This is the game I chose to play. And so please don't try to tell me how to play my game. And the truth is, if you were playing your game and enjoying your game, you wouldn't even notice what was going on in my game.
In my game, right.
Right.
Mind your fucking business, right.
Mind your business, enjoy your game. And let me try. And if I ask you for help and advice and tips, different. But don't just come over to me and try to want me to feel bad about the game I'm playing. It's my token. Yeah, so, you know, everything is perspective. That's it. That's the key right there.
Well, you know, there are a lot of men who don't take care of their kids, not even active. Is there a part of you that is understanding of the reasons why? And have any men ever expressed to you some of the reasons why they may not be active? Because I'm pretty sure you have a lot of good relationships with a lot of men who feel comfortable enough to talk to you about certain things because of the things you experience.
Yeah, you know, most of the men that I run across that are like that, they're limited in their own way. So it's like they can't take care of themselves even. Or they just give up. Do I ever get to the point where I'm like, attitude with like judgmental? Yeah, I will. I'm human. I don't stay in that place, but I will. And that's usually when there's no, like they have the resources, they have the time, they're just on some bullshit from their own personal stuff. And the child is suffering. That's the part that gets me, to see the child, because I know what that pain is like.
Me too, yeah.
When you don't get that acceptance from your father, your mother, when they're not loving on you like that, that's traumatic. But then, I'm not going to front. I go back to EIP. I don't believe anything's an accident. And everything's for our greater good. So, and I believe that every experience that we have here as spiritual beings in a way, a lot of people ain't gonna feel this, but I believe that we chose that before we got here. We chose who's gonna be our parents. We chose the life we're gonna have, the challenges we're gonna have, the people we're gonna meet along the way that's gonna play different roles in our life. So
I
it's
didn't
like
know you think that. Really?
yeah, so it's like an agreement. And it's like everybody thinks like, well, everybody wants to come here and just be rich and famous. Let's say you're a spirit that's been here so many different times, over and over, reincarnate. You ain't gonna want to come have the same experience. It's like watching TV. You want to watch the same shit. So you like comedy, but you know what? I'm in the mood for something scary.
Right.
I'm in the mood
turn
for
up.
yeah. I'm looking for a little gangster. I'm in the mood for something sexy. I'm in the mood for as spiritual beings. We want experiences. We want to eat from the buffet. We want to sample a buffet, and those experiences helps the universe to expand. It expands consciousness, which expands the universe. So there's a saying: if you're not growing, you're dying. So you got to keep growing. You got to keep expanding. When people stop doing that, you see their lives start to, get smaller.
Shrink.
They get sad. And they start to. So then on top of that, this world is. I'm into quantum physics, neuroscience, and all that other stuff. And through quantum physics and other forms, science, they've proven that this world is an illusion. None of this is real. Our brain is creating it. It's an illusion that's creating here. There is no world outside of you. Everything outside of you is really inside of you. So it's like the outside world is a hologram of what's going on inside of you. So and that what's going on outside of you is you're gonna see the things you believe, your programming, the things you were taught.
Yeah, that's a
so
fact.
They say seeing is believing. Right, actually, it's believing is seeing.
It's seeing, right? Because if you think what you are.
Right, exactly. And when I not only do I teach this to my clients over 24 years of coaching, but I live, that's the life, I live by that, those principles. I've created the life that I created based on those principles. So when I talk about it, it's not like, oh, this is just a theory that is making up. Nah, I live this shit every day. I accomplish things that I've created a life around this. My wife has done that. My kids have done that. But the people in my circle, you come into my circle, you're going to learn how to manifest and consciously create your reality as well. That's why when I was dealing with my dad, it was like he's not a conscious creator. He doesn't know that. So I was teaching him different things. I was coaching him. Yeah. So when all's said and done, even things that seem really tragic, the most beautiful things come out of tragedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when that father doesn't show up for that kid, even though I have empathy, but I also get excited for that kid because it's like, yo, you know what? This is your journey, and there's going to be blessings in it. There's going to be expansion from it, this and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people will be like, oh, I wish I would have taken it. You didn't go through that with your dad, and this and that. You wish you did. Nah, no. It was perfect. I wouldn't change anything because that made me who I am.
Facts.
And I love who I am. Love it. And so, yeah. So that's how fatherhood affected me.
Damn, before we get to into your journey with fatherhood, I want to ask you about what you just said. So do you think we're in the Matrix?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, there's more than beyond enough proof of that, We just have but it's a beautiful thing to be in the Matrix. Now, if you were asleep in the Matrix, it sucks.
Right.
But once you wake up and you become Neo, the neocortex, frontal cortex, neocortex, that's what they're talking about. Once you get this enlightened here, you open this up, that third eye, wow, everything changes. Yeah. Oh, trust me, girlfriend. All right. Once you awake and you understand the Matrix, you learn how to move through the Matrix, you learn how to manipulate the Matrix to make it work for you. And, so yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I think we came to be in a Matrix. We came to do that. And it helps us to expand. Once again, everything is about expansion, consciousness. So whether you experience something that's enjoyable or not, you're going to expand. I don't care how you get there, just get there how you can. That's the way the universe looks at it. Just expand. The universe doesn't go, oh, I feel bad for you. I feel sorry for you.
Nah, she don't care.
It's like, are you going? You're expanding. Yeah, you know what you came for.
Right. She's like, hold on, girl.
Yeah. Don't worry, you ain't gonna be there forever. So this ain't gonna last that long. Yeah, so you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Yes.
Now, when did you become a father?
When did I become a father? I can tell you when I thought I was a father.
Right. That's what I want to touch on.
Oh,
Is it with the boys
first time.
or are they twins?
If they were twin boys.
Okay.
Right. So that was when I was 18. No. 18, I was about 19, 20.
You was
20.
definitely before 21, because then we're gonna talk about the possibility of you getting drafted too.
Right. I was 20. I went to college in California, and I started dating this young lady, fell in love with her, moved in really fast with her. Things were great in the beginning.
They always are.
Always are. Always are. And I noticed that she was like kind of a bitch to other people, but she wasn't like that with me. So I was like, I don't care. She'd be like that with you. Like,
right.
But what goes around comes around. So
yeah.
So we break. So eventually we start fighting, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it was getting bad. And at the time, I had an opportunity to play pro basketball in Peru and AA baseball with the Brewers. And they wanted me to report to camp with agents and all this stuff. And in that process, she got pregnant. And I was like, okay, you're pregnant. Now be honest with me, because we weren't together. We were back and forth. I was with other people. She was, and I was like,
oh, so at this point, you moved out the house, or where y'all was staying together?
Yeah, I moved out, but we were still doing the sex.
Right.
You know?
So you was right.
Yeah. And so she was like, no, I was with no one else, this and that. I was like, yo, I was doing my thing. I ain't even gonna front with you. So what you? Just be real. You gotta. And she's like, no. And so found out she was pregnant with twin boys.
Wow. Do twins run in your family?
No, not at all. Not at all. Clue number one.
right, that's the red flag. Yo.
I'll take stupid motherfuckers for 200, please.
Right.
Twins don't run in the family. So she's like, no, they're yours. So I'm like, damn, I don't even like her. I don't even, But I was like, okay, my dad wasn't there for me. I always promised I'm gonna be there for my kids. So I was like, all right, gotta marry her. Do the right thing.
Oh, I didn't know y'all got married.
Yeah, we got married. Yeah. Wow. So I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, getting married.
Damn, I got the cliff notes at St. Jude.
Oh yeah. Yes, you did. And even it was crazy because even when we get married, now keep in mind, this is crazy too. As a kid growing up in Brooklyn,
right,
around all these broken relationships, I literally at 7 years old, I knew I'd find love. And I was like, yo, you know what? Because all the people around me, they don't know how to love. I'm very connected spiritually, even as a kid. And I was like, I'm going to teach them. One day I'm going to grow up. I'm going to find the love of my life. We're going to have this amazing love affair. Then we're going to turn around and teach the world how to love like us. Then I would listen to love songs under the cover and just visualize this life. Right. 7, 8 years old. So I always felt she was out there. And then I thought it was my college girlfriend. Then after a while, I was like, nah, hell no, she ain't it. I know she ain't it. And so I could always feel that woman out there. And so when I was getting my tuxedo, we get fit for that, and I was with my ex's brothers, and it came out. I was just a Freudian slip. I was like, yo, you know what? The next time I get married, I'm gonna wear blue. And they were like, what? What'd you say? And I was like, oh shit, did I say that out loud? Oh, my bad. My bad. So she had the kids, twin boys, named them after me. Love of my life. It was just like, gimme. I was that dad.
Yeah.
I was that dad.
And you got 2 boys?
2 boys, every doctor's appointment, every checkup. I was there. Nah, you can't get. I taught her how to breastfeed them both. It was just like, no, hold this one like this, hold that one like that. Right. Got it, get it, click, got it. Look to the goblin. So they were the love of my life. Love them. But me and her, things just got worse and worse.
But so did you not think that, not to cut you off, but did you not think that you can do the basketball and be a father? Like, could they not just move where you was at?
That ship left. That ship sailed. Because from the time that offer was there, And then everything I was going through, it was like, it ain't, it was like, it ain't never gonna happen. I couldn't see it happening. There was a part of me that hoped it would one day, but it was like, right now, I need to be with this. But then dealing with the chaos and the turmoil with her every day, just in my, it just was crazy.
Right.
So it got to the point where it was like, this relationship is going to get physically abusive if I stay in. And that's on her end as well.
Right.
And I don't play that. It was like, all right. So I left.
Listen, my OG said, I don't play that shit.
Nah, no. And so I left, and she was pissed. And she was like, I'm going to take you to the cleaners. I'm going to take you for child support for everything that you got. You never get it done, blah, blah, blah. So, and I remember when I wanted to get the blood test done, and she was with me in the public, the DA was there. And he's just all over her, like, oh, don't worry, honey, we're going to get him, and we're going to show him, and we're going to, I'm like, yo, you don't even know. You don't even know, but you're making me the bad guy. All right. So I asked my mother. She came out here, my grandmother. I was like, hey, this is what's the deal. She said that they're mine. I'm finding out that they are or not. My grandmother, my mother were like, they're not yours. They're not yours. I'm like, what? It's like, they're not yours.
How
and I was like, wait a minute. How do you know? She goes, you can look at them and tell. She goes, it's obvious that they're not yours.
Wow.
What do they have that's like yours? And I was like, their toes.
Did you have any doubts? Like, did you feel like they weren't yours?
It never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind until that happened.
Wow.
Until she took me for child support. And so I'm going to court now. This is a crazy experience. So the boys are like 3 years old now. I go to court with all the fathers. There's just men in that room, 50 men. And they're all sweating bullets. Just like, oh shit, I'm nervous. You can feel that tension you get in there.
You know, niggas don't like to be in court.
No, like to be in court, especially for support.
Right.
So the judge is like, okay, when I call your name, if I say negative, then you can leave. Say positive, you got to stay, do the paperwork, you're the father. So they start going through the names. Positive, so-and-so, positive, so-and-so, positive. The brother's like, positive.
Right.
Positive.
Facial expressions are changing and shit.
Yeah. And so I thought they said, and then some other guy ran up. And they were like, oh, negative. He's like, what does that mean? It's like, you're free to leave. Ran into the room. All the men were like,
Right.
So I was like, they kept going. I was like, wait a minute. They're like in the F's now. I went back. I was like, yo, did you say, we called you? It's like, no, you didn't. They were like, wait a minute. Go to the other guy. I ran out, brought the other guy back. His name was like Marks or something. And they were like, oh, positive. So then they looked at me and I was like, so what does that mean? They're like, negative. You're free to go. They're not yours. And it was like, fuck.
Right.
Yes. What fuck? What? My brain, I'd never experienced so many emotions like that. It was just overwhelming.
Wow.
I'm not going to front. And I'm in my early 20s now. My first instinct, I'm not going to front because of that anger and that rage. I wanted to go and choke her out.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. But my spirit literally said, sit on a bench. There was a bench.
To calm down.
And I just sat on the bench and I blacked out. I woke up, it was the evening. The court was closed. And I passed out, it was like at least 3 o'clock. Now it was like 6 o'clock. And I came through and I was way calmer. So I was like, my spirit looked out for me. Because I was going to get in that car, that would have went bad.
Yeah.
And so I got on the phone, call her. And she, go ahead. She picks up the phone. She goes, so what happened? And I was like, let me just play this off a little. I go, you were right. She go, what do you mean? I go, they're mine. I told you were right. She was going off on me, Jessica. And I was like,
Wow.
You know what? They're wrong. They're not mine. She was like, what? And I was like, she's like, what do you mean? How can that be? I go, let me read you the paper. They're 99.999% not mine. She's like, oh my God, how did that happen? I go, oh, you want me to tell you how it happened?
Right.
Here's how it happened, bitch.
Right. What you mean how it happened?
Yeah, how it happened. Yeah, you know how it happened. And she just broke down. It was like, maybe one of them were yours and one of them.
That's not how that worked with twins.
So that came out. I was devastated, hit rock bottom, was feeling suicidal, lost my career, athletic career, not going to school anymore, lost the wife, lost the kids, rock bottom. Wanted to kill myself even at certain points, contemplated it.
Because you could have had a whole different lifestyle.
Yeah. And then my spirit literally was like, really? Really? Is that what you're doing? You don't see the blessings? I saved you. I gave you a second chance at life. Go do something with it. Go big. This is a blessing. So at that point, it was like, I got another chance at life. I need to rebuild myself. I need to heal my wounds. I need to start doing my inner work. I need to be better. I need to grow and expand. And I did that. And I continued to see the boys and spend time with them. My love for them was unconditional. And for the next couple of years, but she never told them the truth. The agreement was to tell nobody. She was like, if you tell anybody the truth, then you'll never see them again.
Did she ever say why she lied?
No. Oh, she didn't say why she cheated. Well, because she actually didn't really cheat. We weren't together.
Right, because I was on a break, right.
Yeah, we were on a break. She just said that she felt like he wouldn't be a good father and she knew I'd be a great dad.
Nah, that's not how that works.
No, not at all.
That's fucked up. Because a lot of man, it's a lot of fucked up people out here because a lot of women do that to men.
Yeah.
And then men give all this time and it's like, bro, this not even my child.
Yeah, you turn a good man bad very easily.
It can turn a good man bad.
Yeah. And the craziest thing about it, another crazy thing about it was that, and she didn't know this, if she'd have known it, she would have went with it. In the state of California, even if they're not yours,
you're
still legally responsible.
Yeah. That's why you gotta know your laws.
Yeah, she didn't know it. And I was not gonna tell her or share that with her. So I saw them for the next couple of years, but everything changed. The way they started acting with me. And so disrespectful, just like go places and shut up. You can't tell me what to do. My mother said, I don't have to listen to you. And this.
But do they know that you're not their father?
No, I couldn't tell them.
So they still don't know to this day?
To this day. How
old are they now?
They're about probably 40, 38. Wait, I'm 37, about 35, 37, around there.
Damn, do we need to change your voice? Because what if they hear this?
You know what? Then it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Actually, I've been contemplating reaching out to them, but my concern was that she spent so many years making it seem like I was just some guy that just a deadbeat dad that just was like, screw y'all.
Right.
That father that I was telling you that I would never be.
Right.
So that's how life works. So I told my spirit, because I still have friends that are connected to her, connected to them, that stayed in their life. And they told me, she talks bad about you. She never told any of them the truth. And she tells everybody that you just left. She never tells anybody the real story. Yeah. And so I told myself that, you know what? Should I do it? Should I reach out? My spirit was like, you'll know when, if it's meant to be. Either they'll reach out. So I don't care if I would love for them to hear this and learn the truth. It doesn't, I go back to EIP.
Yeah.
And and even with now, as time has passed and people once again, the people oh man, I wish you didn't have to go through that. No, it was EIP. It was perfect. That put me on a path to becoming a coach.
Yeah.
That put me on a path to finding my wife, to attract my wife. And when I met my wife, I knew that that was the one that was, because even when I was with my ex, it was like I could feel that woman out there.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why you said when next time I get married.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and I did wear blue.
Wait, so
Yeah.
are you close to the sons, the twins, or
I have no contact with them since they were like 6, 7.
wait, so you haven't spoken to them in almost like what, 30 years?
Yeah, yeah. They're grown men.
Wow.
They're grown men. And you know, she got remarried as well. The kids were being disrespectful, and it was getting bad. Where she was literally accusing me of having like bringing other women around when I had them and having sex with other women in front of them. Crazy shit. Just the same thing I broke up, got divorced with her for, because she was just coming up with shit like, and you did this, you did, and it was like, okay,
That's crazy.
this is getting beyond crazy. She is just, and you're turning and you're making them like that against me. I can't be
Right.
around kids that are just, you know what I'm saying? It was like, and then with the new husband and this and that, it was like, it's time to back out.
Mm.
And so I moved away. Yeah, so it's been that long.
Do you miss them?
In all honesty, I love them,
hmm
but I don't miss them in that way because I don't know them.
Right.
I knew that version of them.
Right.
You know, they're not, you know, so
She gotta
um
tell them.
yeah,
That's
that's a
fucked
tough one.
up.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, even her brother, I was friends with her brother, he passed a few years back. And he, you know, he was even pissed, like, you know what, she's wrong the way she did you, and she needs to tell people the truth, and she's still telling people lies about you and just. But once again, I got to look back and go, it was EIP, and
Mm.
EIP isn't just the good stuff. It's the good. It's the things that don't feel good as well.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I look back, and for many years I was upset with her, and I blamed her. But then it was like, let me look at myself. I attracted that situation. Why
Mm.
was I matched, vibrational match to that? And then I saw a lot of things I was a vibrational match to with that.
Right.
Um, she could be a bitch, but I could be a dick.
Right.
It
Mm.
was just a different way. And the
Right.
truth was, we were both young, and we were young trying to play grown up, play house. She was doing the best she could with what she had to work with, and so was I.
Right.
And so I I forgive her. I don't have any grudges against her to this day. Um, it was
Mm.
a chapter in my life that was a very powerful chapter in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I had my own children, it helped me to be even a better dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do they know this story? Like your other children?
yeah. Oh yeah, they know. Yeah, because my other children has 2 children from her
Right.
previous marriage. So I knew I got with when our oldest daughter, her first daughter, was 7,
Mm-hmm.
and a son was 2. And so I was in their life since then.
Right.
So I stepped into the stepdad role,
Mm-hmm.
which was another whole challenging
Yeah, I
program
can
to run.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was challenging too. But to this day, we look back and they talk about it. We talk about it, and me and have a daughter together.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she's 25 now, and she knows about it and all of it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm an open book. I don't put that stuff
Yeah. Was
secret.
it challenge? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like I said, was it challenging for them because what was their dad active?
Their dad was act,
Oh,
hmm,
present?
present, but not present.
Okay.
You know, yeah, he has his
Yeah.
own. You know,
Yeah.
so for them, they so like for example, that's our oldest daughter. She got married, and at her wedding, she told her dad, "He's gonna walk me down the aisle.
Mm.
You can walk me too, but he's gonna walk me down the aisle. And if you have a problem with it, then you don't walk me down. He's gonna be because he's my dad."
Mm.
And so we both walked her down the aisle. I cried like a baby, and he was just oblivious. Like, oh.
Right.
Like, so me and the kids, yeah, and we talk about that stuff now, like, you know, the days when we were younger and trying to get into the stepdad thing, and
because
we all laugh
everybody's
about
learning.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all laugh. Our family's great. We sit around, laugh, and they're like, damn, yeah, my son, he's like, yeah, I was a little dick. Yeah, I was a jerk. Yeah, but, you know, so we laugh at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you want to know who the biological father is for the twins?
Oh, I know who he is.
Nah, this has been a lifetime.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Have y'all spoke?
Huh?
Y'all
Yeah,
spoke? You and the father?
This is crazy too. We did, but we didn't. Once again, just like when I spotted my dad, I have intuition. I have this amazing intuition.
Right.
I could feel something, be around people, like I could see a whole story comes out of it just from being around them, get those information. And so when I was dating my first wife, when we were in college, her aunt had a barbecue and she invited a bunch of friends over, college friends, her friends. And there was this guy there, and I could just feel like, they weren't doing anything, but I could just feel it. So when she said, when it all came out, it was like, was it him? And she was like, yeah. But then I could see the kids look like him.
Wow. So she knew this whole time.
Yeah. Which made sense. She admitted that that's one of the reasons why she was going off on me so much, because her conscience was eating away at her. And every time she'd see me with the kids, then her guilty conscience would kick in. And when she was pregnant, she was stressed out, like, oh boy, I hope they
wow.
Yeah.
Yo.
And he didn't want anything to do with it. Because afterwards she told him and she came back, which pissed me off. But he said he doesn't want anything to do with it.
Wow.
And that bothered me. And I was like, yo, all right. Because, you know, this just felt a little, territorial. Or whatever.
Right. Damn, do you think in situations like this, legal action should take place? Because, you know, there are some men that go through this, and they go through this for like years. And then you find out this ain't even your damn kid.
Yeah. You know, I think that would make sense for that to happen. That would make sense. But me personally, I wouldn't do it. Excuse me. Unless she was balling out like that. Unless she was just paid like, then maybe. But to be like, let me take food out of, the kid's mouth and think, nah. Yeah. Learn and grow, keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. It could be a lot worse. But like I said, those are things that help me to become who I am. Yeah. Help me to become a great coach. And so when I'm coaching people, and I also believe that one of the things that makes me a great, effective coach is that a life coach is about having life experiences. The more experiences I have in life, good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, the more I can share with others. So when I go through something, I don't look at it like it's necessarily just about me. I'm a survivor. And I can hack things. My mind is incredible.
Right.
So with things that would destroy other people, I'll come out on top. Something, fire, something new, something improved, something better. Right. So I believe I go through it to help others.
Yeah. It was always bigger than us.
Teach each other. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what did your mom say about this? But like, even though she already knew and her mom knew, but like, did your mom ever just talk about you becoming a father and like you reconnecting with your father and then come to find out these ain't your kids? Like, did she ever just sit down and talk to you about that?
Yeah, we've had conversations about it. And for one, now that she's older, life has humbled her too. Where a lot of things before she was like, nah. Now it's like, you know what? I want you to get to know your father's side of the family. And I think that's good that you went and you got to see your dad. It's things you saw about him that I couldn't tell you.
Right.
You have to just experience for yourself by interacting with him. My uncles and even my mother, they always say like, your father was this incredible man. He's literally like you.
Right.
But like where he didn't take advantage of those gifts to that degree, he used them for bad, for evil. You took that same gift and you're using them for good. He could have done the same thing.
Right.
So she wants me to reconnect with the boys. To this day, the twins, she still follows them. Like, not constantly, but in social
Right. She
media.
keep up with them. Yeah.
She keeps up with them.
Do they reach out to her?
No, she plays in the back. She's watches from afar.
So they don't want nothing to do with your family.
I don't think they know anything about my family, really. They like lived in a bubble with her. She created a little bubble, and there's been no exposure. So for them, I think that they believe, just like that I've gotten feedback, that I just abandoned them for no reason.
Damn, that's crazy, y'all. He be on TV.
Yeah.
He outside. Like, him and his wife are like love gurus. So that's crazy. Because they probably out here thinking that you don't fuck with them.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And sometimes it's just when I think about reconnecting with them and like reach out. It just overwhelms me because there's so much I got to deal with her stuff, and I don't know what position she's in with them, and I don't know how they're going to come at me, and
these are grown men.
Yeah, and there's so many layers, and then is it going to be like, why are you back in our life? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and why now?
When I feel that much resistance, something, that means it's not time.
Right.
Once I get to the point, I believe that one day, if it's meant to be, I'm going to get to the point where it's like, I'm in alignment with it.
Right.
Let's do it. And I'll do it, And so until then, let's see what happens.
Damn. When had y'all baby, was you looking at her like, come on now, I ain't doing this again? I know you was like, girl.
You know what? She reassured me, but I believe
I know she did.
Yeah.
I know she did.
She was like, yeah, babe, you do realize that you do know, right? That I was like, no, I know that.
I can only imagine how they play on your psyche. Like, were you nervous or like, I don't know, like that would have
you know what? Honestly, no. No. There was no. My intuition was like,
she the one.
Nothing. Yeah, she the one. It was nothing but love. I could feel that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Even before she was born, I could feel it. I'm touching the stomach. I'm talking to her in the stomach, in the womb. I could feel it. And it's that energy. This is a gift that I have.
Yeah.
And I could. It's my gift is really powerful. So I could tell when something. My intuition is really off the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then she looks just like me. When she was born, it was like, yeah.
That's my baby.
Yeah, I didn't just look at the toes this time.
Right.
It's like, what do you think, Mom?
Right.
Got the thumbs up from him, so yeah.
Because your story is so common, unfortunately, are there any positive aspects or silver linings that you found throughout this entire situation?
Definitely, like I said, for one, it put me on a path to being a coach, rebuilding myself, helped me to deal with to help other people within similar situations.
Right.
And I guarantee you, even for them, there were benefits. Even for her, there were benefits. Whether I ever really know what those are or not, I truly believe that there are.
Yeah. So this is a two-part question. So what advice would you give to someone that's going through a similar experience and they find out that the kids are not theirs?
First, get to the point of acceptance before you do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And acceptance is whenever we can accept what is, then it creates resistance, energetic resistance. And that pushes against us, which would create depression, anger, sadness, all of the negative emotions.
Yeah.
Right. But if you can first get to the point where I am, and that's okay. I am where I am. That's letting go of resistance. Now, from there, you can deal with things with much more clarity, with much more insight, empathy, alignment, and you're going to get much better results. And whether what direction you choose to take, whether you're going to, try to stay in the child's life, or you're going to go see your separate ways, or whatever you're going to do, you'll do it if you have let go of resistance and accept where you are first, then things will tend to work out better.
Yeah.
No matter what choice you make. Better for everybody. And the key is to want the best for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Not just for you, but the child, the mother, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the second part of this question is the same beginning. What would you do? What's your advice to someone who find out that the kids are not theirs, but they do want to have a relationship with the kids? That's a good man.
Yeah, that's a good man.
Yeah.
And I've known men that have done that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And if you're going to do it, don't bullshit yourself. Don't harbor resentment. Learn to love them unconditionally. And find reason, meaning in it. Like, for example, maybe you were put in their life because they needed you, maybe not to be the biological father, but they needed you as a father figure. Maybe you'll be a better father than the biological father. It's got to go back to EIP. Everything is perfect. There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. Everything is unfolding for your greater good. The universe plays chess, not checkers. So if you could find a positive perspective and literally let go and get counseling and deal with those emotions, because those things are going to come up. It's going to come up. That anger is going to come up. Those thoughts are going to come up. Those moments are going to come up. And you don't want to take it out on the kids.
That's a fact.
You don't want to take it out on the mother. You don't want to suppress it and have you eat you up alive.
Yeah, like you got to really be at peace with this decision.
Yeah, because like they say, negative emotions, anger, shame, guilt, rage, it corrodes the container that it's carried in. And who's that container?
Yeah.
So if you can't be a good container, you can't keep the container right.
Right. Just step away.
I mean, step away.
Tap out.
Tap out. Yeah.
I had one more question, but this one just came to mind. What is your advice to women who, and I want to be sensitive about this because I do feel like even though it was unfortunate what your ex did to you, a little part of me feels like she had good intentions because she wanted her children to have a father and she knew you would be a good father. I don't agree how she went about it, but like, what is your advice to women who are in similar situations like your ex?
Honesty. Honesty.
That was quick. You didn't have to think about that.
Yeah. If she would have been honest, I could have dealt with it. Things could have been so much. Things could have been very different.
Yeah.
But the more she lied, the more she deceived, it just like was salt in the wound.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah. For everybody.
Yeah. So, and it's just come clean. The truth shall set you free.
Right.
It's cleansing.
It's freeing.
It's free. And I get that it's scary. Of course it's scary. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she was very afraid.
With twins at that?
Yeah. And I'm sure she didn't set out to be like, oh, let me have a baby with another guy and then put it on him.
Right.
No, she was young. She, made a fool's mistake. She made a mistake. But she didn't own up to it. She never owned up to it. Never, to this day. And I can only imagine what it's done to her.
Yeah. She got to look at them boys every day.
Yeah. And live that lie every day, Like I said, I made peace with it. I look at everybody involved and it's like, I want the best for everybody.
Right.
And everybody was doing the best that they could with what they had to work with. And just like didn't judge my dad when he came back. Same thing with her. And I've seen her. It's been a while.
Did she look
Um,
bad? Like life took a toll on her? He's shaking his
yeah,
head, y'all.
yeah. It was one of those
Yeah.
things. So you're like, phew,
Yeah.
touch wood.
Because this current wife is bad, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow. Would you want an
yeah.
apology from her? Not that you need one, but would you want one?
I would love that. I would
Yeah.
love that. You know what? I'd apologize back to her.
Mm.
I'd apologize back to her.
For what?
And um, hmm, for my role I played in it, because like I said, I didn't make her cheat, but when I look back in retrospect,
Mm.
I did things to hurt her. You know,
Damn, that's real, man.
yeah, and it wasn't like maybe sometimes there's some words that I'm saying and how I
Yeah.
say things because we're upset with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was growing up. I was like, 19, 18, 19, 17, 18, 19, 17, 18. Yeah. Um, I look back at a lot of things I did when I was young like that, and I'm like, oh shit, eek, how bad? Ooh,
Right.
he did that. You know. So yeah, I would apologize for that. And I would tell her I love her. So I do love her. I'm not in
Mm-hmm.
love with her, but I love her. I
Right.
love that she played a special part in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. That's good.
I
That
mean,
was good.
listen, I am baby
Good job.
Oprah now.
Good
I'm
job.
just saying. I'm just saying, you know how I
Good
give it
job.
up.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
job.
And last but not least, how has this experience changed your understanding of fatherhood now?
Mm. I would say I just learned to love.
Mm,
Just learn to love without judgment, without condition, just to be grateful to have the opportunity to be a father. And
mm,
we come into it with a bunch of ideals of what it's supposed to be. And like I said, over the years, I've learned that it's not about the child behaving a certain way or performing a certain way
right.
or making you look good. It's just truly for that child to know that there's someone that will love me unconditionally for just me being me. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to be anything. I don't have to act a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
even though they'd prefer me to, but they still got me. And that
Right.
creates an amazing connection, an amazing bond. And I try to have that with everybody in my life, especially
Yeah.
with kids, my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
Wow.
it.
I think this was a beautiful conversation. I'm so
It was.
happy that we was able to make this happen because, when I first met you, I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like this is my big brother. Like I feel like this is the
Man, the
man
big
version
bro.
of me. Like, yeah,
Yes,
like you have
I
made
agree.
me feel so comfortable and so safe in the short amount of time that I have met you and your wife. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just so happy that I was able to share a story about fatherhood and it was with you. So thank you so much. I
No,
really appreciate it.
thank you, my love. I love and appreciate you too.
Yes, I love you
Sis, no,
too.
sis.
Yes. Not us air hugging.
Yeah, we are. Okay. Oh,
Yes. And to the
good job.
listeners, thank you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please make sure to email me at hello@thephdpodcast.com. And until next time, guys, like I always say, make sure you share your storyline because you never know how it can be someone else's lifeline. Until next time, everyone. Later. You gonna say bye?
Goodbye. Later.